Hey guys, happy 2026. So I figured with the new year and I have been a lot more active on this channel, I thought I would reintroduce myself. Some of you that have been followers for many years know a little bit about me and where I used to be. And I'm just gonna do a get ready with me and we can just chat, talk about life, and you get to know me again. And so many things have changed since I really filmed. I started doing short videos this past year, and my 26 goal is to definitely post more this year on this channel. It has been really exciting to see a lot more activity on this channel and see different parts of the world watching my videos. That's probably one of my favorite things. So a long intro, shorts. Let's get into it. Grab a snack, grab a drink. All my new followers and views, hello, I am Maddie, and I just really appreciate the new views, the new subscribes. Like I said earlier, my goal this year is to post more. Did take a different change on my channel. I have went more of the lifestyle content creator, I guess you could call it, more home and lifestyle. And I still do the fashion and the makeup, but I have more focus on the home and things like that. I don't really know what the terminology is for it. I guess there is a terminology, but that's kind of my main focus. This channel is just kind of like free and creative. Last time I really sat down and made a video, I think it was a get ready with me like 4 years ago. And at the time I was living in Wyoming, which I am no longer living in Wyoming. I was there for about 4 years. I met some of my best girlfriends that I am still so close to this day. Actually, one of my girlfriends I get to see here very soon. Got to see her quite a bit this last year due to all the wedding events, so that was really fun. I am married now, so that is a huge change in my life, is being married. We did get married last June and our wedding was just an absolute dream. I could literally replay my wedding over and over again. I will probably be putting some content on that as well. I will share our wedding video because it is too good not to share. Our videographer was absolutely incredible and exceeded my expectations and more. He was just amazing to work with. So I will share his work as well as tips that I did differently on our wedding, because I did do a lot of things non-traditional. So I would like to share those because I got a lot of actually my wedding advice off TikTok, and I feel like it just really made our wedding so magical because of those changes that we did, and we just made it us. Like, we made it very original and just not your traditional wedding. I had a little bit of a career change, going back to what I started doing when I moved to Wyoming. So I'm back in bookkeeping for now. I don't know what the future holds. I have always had really good opportunities with this company, so it's always felt like home. They've treated me always like family. Change to be back with people that just really genuinely care. I did do HR, which I absolutely loved and something I still would love to pursue. For now, I'm just kind of sitting in my career as life has changed a lot. Closer to home, but still not home. I think one of my husband and I's future goals is to maybe be closer to home, especially once we start having a family. But it just really depends on where our careers take us. Since I'm just running errands, I am just gonna do a quick little French braid on my hair. The main thing I need to do is I actually got a new phone. I am literally filming with the iPhone 13 Pro, so it was definitely time for an upgrade. I think that's part of one of my goals with my content, is just being a little bit more clear on my videos. I have worked a lot to try to make them more crisp, the transitions more crisp. Me upgrading my phone will be huge for this page. So I am excited to start filming with my new phone. As a retired photographer, very picky about my videos and the clarity. And so I just can't thank you guys enough for being patient with my videos, but also just still tuning in. And even though they're not perfection, and you know, for me, I'm very much, I guess you could call it a perfectionist. And so I one day will get those clean, crisp, aesthetic looking videos. Side break. I think I've only had Poppy once. I love that they have probiotics in here. This is the raspberry rose, and the calories are low, and I like that the carbs are low. So I know my sister-in-law loves the poppies, so I'm gonna give it a try. It has enough flavor, and then it also has that carbonation too. So it's not bad. Some of you knew my dog Daisy. She was a month shy of her 14th birthday, and she had passed away last year. That was one of the hardest things for me. Is if you knew me, you knew Daisy. She literally went everywhere with me, like seriously, like even my jobs. She was able to go to work with me at a couple of my jobs, so that was really cool. I had her since she was a day old, and she was a little border collie, the cutest thing ever, the sweetest girl. And you could literally just take her everywhere. Be a little biased about their own dogs, but she was just perfect. She traveled very well. You could do anything, and she was just so cute. She passed away a couple months before my wedding, so accepting that was really hard. It came very unexpected. She was in great health, and she ended up actually getting lymphoma, and it happened very quickly. Her diagnosis happened on a Saturday, and then not even probably a week, maybe a week and a half later, quality of life, especially her age, her health had declined so much, and at that point it had spread. I have made some very, very hard choices in my life, and I've had a lot of trial and tribulations in my life, but I will say still to this day, that was the hardest decision and thing I've ever had to go through. I know I gave her the best life I could, and she gave me the best life. And if anybody is ever faced with that decision, all I can say is that you just have to be there for them, and you have to be strong, because I didn't really think that I could do it. But in that moment, it just, I guess your motherly instinct kicks in, and you remember how much they were there for you. So grateful that my husband was there. I think without him, I don't know if I could have gotten through it, but I think she knew that I was going to be taken care of, and she could let go. We had just purchased our house. As a lot of you know, I've moved a lot. My promise was to always find her and I a home, and I think she felt like it was time she could go, because we had found home. So that was a huge transition. I always said she was going to be in my wedding, which even though she wasn't physically there, she was spiritually. We had a picture of her right at the front of the altar so we could look at her, because her name was Daisy. I had daisies in my bouquet, and then we had named some of our cocktails after our animals. I do have a cat, and then my husband has a chocolate lab. So we did name our cocktails after our animals, and she was one of them. I would be home, I would always dance to music, and she was like my little dancing partner. The song Dancing Queen was like, just anytime I hear that song, I think of her. And so we played that as well, like a tribute to her. It was so cute. Yeah, I mean, she was my little child. She was my little person. And I know some may say they're just a dog, but to me, she was family, and she was all I had for almost literally 14 years. And went everywhere, moved everywhere. So that being said, as I did share a video of us getting our new puppy, Scout, it was about November when we got him. I had not honestly anticipated getting a dog so soon. I probably was gonna wait longer. The backstory of him was pretty cool. His dad and Daisy, they were little buds, and he had passed away the same year Daisy did, and it was his last litter that he had. One of my girlfriends that had him asked if I was ready for a dog, and she had reached out just to me regarding this litter. There was only 2 of them, and she just knew that, you know, he would be a good fit for me. There was a little female, which I originally wanted a female, but I just couldn't help with Scout's coloring. I just loved his coloring. I really like when they are different, so I really like that about Scout. Same with Daisy. I picked her out because of her markings. were so rare. And so Scout's coloring, they call it a merle color. I love that his eyes are blue. My husband's eyes are blue. And so I love that we have the blue-eyed crew. And then our chocolate lab has brown. And I do have a kitty, like I mentioned. Her name's Lavender. Funny story on her. I got her for Daisy specifically because at the time I was working a job that was a lot of overtime and working night shift. So I wanted Daisy to have a little buddy. I wasn't ready to have a dog, so I got her a little cat, and that was her buddy. And so that's how I got Lavender. And I wanted a gray kitty with long hair, and what I got, she has really cool eyes too. She's fun. She is an outdoor-indoor kitty, and the puppy just loves to mess around with her. It's like WWE in our house on a daily, so it's pretty funny. She definitely gets her dose of medicine because she has always been the one to usually pick on others. So she's getting her dose. I do have a TikTok. I'm really like hit and miss with TikTok. I have not had social media for like as far as Facebook or an Instagram for probably like 8 years, between 6 to 8 years. I really like the privacy, even though I know this is like putting myself out in the public. I think the reason I loved having this channel is a lot of my friends and family had no idea I had this channel for all the years that I've had it. So it was kind of my little like secret gatekeeping. I really didn't get a lot of views or anything. At the time I made those videos, I was going through a lot of depression, and I was in relationships and life situations and transitions of life, and I think that was kind of my outlet for me for so many years. I think just this past year I've had so many changes, and I think being a wife, and this is my first home that I've ever had, I've taken so much pride in our house, and I finally have been able to decorate it the way I want to. I'm definitely somebody that loves like the videos of organizing and, you know, your little Sunday resets, things like that. Being in my wife era has been my favorite of all time. I always wanted to be a wife. The cooking, the cleaning, all of that, and just being organized. And so those are the type of videos I love to watch. Life had changed, and I really wanted to get back into filming and maybe change a little bit of my content, and it seems to be going really well. I do have high hopes for it. I love being a small creator, and I'm not somebody that's like looking for this to be a full-time job, but it is fun to just create. I've always had a creative side of me. Like I said, I did have a photography business for about 10 years. Being able to have that creative mind, and then of course, like I said, I love makeup, I love fashion. That's how I got started on this channel, was literally through makeup, and it is what inspired me to start posting. Fun to look back to at my old videos and see how much I've evolved and see how much my life has changed. I've had this channel for 10 years, so it's like full circle. And at the time, actually, when I was filming, I was engaged, and so seeing now I'm married and have a whole new life, it's very interesting, and it just makes you look at how fast life goes. I didn't mention, I went to Romania this past year. I am from Romania. I was born in Romania, but I was adopted by an American family when I was 2.5. And one of the coolest things I would say that happened to me was I got reunited with my family, and I actually got to meet them this past year. Early 20-year-old me, I would literally tell myself to move to a different country, travel, and experience that. Do you have plans to go back to see my brother in Germany? He does live in Germany. My husband and I, he didn't get to go with me this trip, but we have talked about going to Germany to see him and his family. So that is definitely on our list to do, and there's a lot of places I would love to see. And I think, you know, you live one life, like why not see the world? So I will say, if you have not traveled to another country, 1000% do it. Book that trip. Yeah, I have some great goals for 26, a lot personal, career-wise, and then of course growing a family, and just seeing what is in store for us. It will be so amazing to see what it looks like at the end of this year. But I did want to hop on here and just give you a little bit about me, and you guys get to know me again, and then all my new followers to get to know who I am behind the lens. And I'm excited to create more videos for you, and I'm so thankful for you all to just be tuning in and watching, and people starting to comment on my videos, hitting that subscribe button. So it means so much to me. This side looks 10 times better. I'm gonna finish this side, and then okay, so I did not realize the time. I'm gonna wrap this up, but this is our little fit check. I got this for Christmas from my sister-in-law, so it's nice and cozy. But thank you for tuning in, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. And be sure to like and subscribe for more content of all the things, especially lifestyle, fashion, makeup, shopping, all the girl fun stuff. So thank you for tuning in. Thanks. Bye guys.